blockade cannot last forever. We must act. The atomic bomb is out of the question. Our only chance is somehow to bring them together. Kong versus Godzilla. If we are lucky, both will die. Both will die?
What is up, all my kaiju friends and fans? This is Phil, the Kaiju King from my collection room here in Greater Cincinnati. And in this video, I was wanting to do a 3 is better than 1, like the title of the video says. I recently got the favorite sculptors line Godzilla 62 walking pose, and I would like to do just an overview of all 3 of them together so you can see their heights and their intricacies, and their differences, and I'll kind of talk about their differences and my opinion of what scene in the film it came from. And I'll start off with the original release, first X Plus Godzilla 1962, and we will do that right now. I'm back, everybody, and here he is, the original release X Plus 30 centimeter Godzilla 1962. For its age, this is a really nicely done figure. The sculpting of the skin, the tree bark skin on the figure is really good for the age of the figure. In my opinion, it's pretty detailed. Really nicely done, in my opinion. This figure was pulled from when he comes ashore at first, after he breaks out of the iceberg and he battles the military. To me, there's a few pictures, stills I took of the movie, and he looks exactly like this, and he has a couple poses and movements in that scene where he turns his body and stuff, and that's what this figure reminds me of, his coming ashore scene in Godzilla, King Kong versus Godzilla. But the figure is nicely done. I do love this figure. One of the very first figures I ever got, probably in my first 10. I have 135 X Plus figures now, and I'd say this one was in the first top 10 that I've purchased, I'm pretty sure, because it was just a go-to automatic epic figure because of the importance of the film. But this is a nicely done figure. Like I said, he has the big old thick thighs and traditional 62. The dorsal plates are nicely done, nice details. Of course, the face and everything is classic 62. If you look at it straight on, it's got that old derpiness, which is the charm and classic Showa. This is a really nice figure, nicely done by X Plus. And now I will bring forth the first FSL Godzilla 1962. We will do that right now. Alright, I'm back, and here is the FSL Favorite Sculptors Line X Plus 30 centimeter Godzilla 62 version 1. I guess I call it, because there is 2 versions now of the Favorite Sculptors Line for the 62. This one is nicely done. I would say the sculpting detail on the skin, texturing of the tree bark skin, is better on this one than the original release. The wrinkling up here around the neck's really nicely done for the suit. It shows the wrinkles in the suit with the actor inside. Of course, he's got the big, thick, chunky thighs and legs. Classic, the big hands, of course. Very nicely done. Nice coloring on the dorsal plates, very similar to the original 30 centimeter release as far as the coloring and everything. Now the skin tone and color of this suit is a brownish, dirty brownish, with the charcoal gray because I think it signifies his final battle. I think that's where this is taken from, in my opinion. The final battle when he's tussling with Kong on the wrestling battle and he gets dirty. But I think what this is from is when he's beating his tail on Kong and he spins around and he's looking at him. This is, I think, where this was taken from. That's just my opinion. It seems to look like that. Then the second time when he knocks Kong out and he's beating on him again and he spins around right before he blows his atomic breath, it looks exactly like this to me. Same mouth position and everything. It just, that's what this one, I think, it screams. When I look at this figure, I think of those scenes in the movie when he's, the final battle, when he's beating Kong with his tail and he turns around and looks at him. This is what I think this figure came from. But I think the sculpting of the tree bark skin texturing and detail and depth is better on this figure than the original 30 centimeter for sure. But the original is good though, but this just holds more detail. Alright, I will bring forth the Favorite Sculptors line version 2 walking pose 62, and let's do that right now. Alright everybody, here is the Favorite Sculptors line X Plus 30 centimeter version 2 walking Godzilla 1962. It came out like a month, 5 weeks ago maybe. I think I got it on at the end of August 26th, so about 5 weeks ago or so. It's really nicely done. Like, it's very similar to the definition of the first FSL, but this sculpting on the skin, the tree bark skin, is a bigger, wider sculpting like on the original 62, I think. So it's more similar, plus the coloring of this one and the original 62 are much more similar as far as the coloring on the suit. And it's nicely done figure. Of course, he's got this, to me, is taken from the scene when they have built the dug out the trench in the ground, put in the dynamite and stuff, and they were going to blow him up, and they light the rivers on fire, and he's following them, and it's taken right from that. I took a picture, I paused the movie, and you can see it's this exact pose to me, exactly. I think that's where this pose came from, when they're driving him toward the trap. So, and it's really a nicely done figure. He has the big, thick, chunky thighs and legs, but to me, they're not quite as thick as the other two 30 centimeters, the FSL and the original. They're not quite as big and chunky. He's a little bit thinner. Maybe he started all this walking, he lost some weight. But it is a nicely done figure. I mean, if the picture I took and I posted here, when you see that, his tail is even going up the same direction as the freeze frame I did from the movie. I do believe that's where they captured this from. But it is a nicely done figure. Very, very hats off to X Plus for this one. Alright, I will try to put all three of them on here, and then I'll do some more talking of about their details and some of my other thoughts. And we will bring the other two back right now. Alright, I'm back everybody, and here I've got all three 30 centimeter X Plus Godzilla 62's. The original release, 30 centimeter 62. The FSL version 1 62. And the FSL version 2 walking pose. All three of them together. I managed to get them on this spinner. I don't know how I did it, but I got them on here. So now, as far as what I was saying, the dorsal plates on the original 62 and the FSL version 1 are very similar in color and textures and everything. The outer of the dorsal plates are almost a bone white on those two. Very, very similar in color and scope, in my opinion. But on the version 2 walking pose FSL, they're darker tone gray on the outer part of the dorsal plates, and I believe that pulls from the film because it is dark when they are luring him to the trench and the trap trench, and you see if you look at his dorsal plates, they don't look as brightly colored and bone white as they do here. They look more of a dollar color, so I think that's why they are of this tone. It's because it's portraying the nighttime scene when they are trying to trap him and defeat him. Like I said, I think the sculpting of the 2 FSLs is richer in texture and deeper than the original release. The original release and the FSL version 2 are very similar in coloring and shading of the skin. This is more of a flat, just straight charcoal gray, the version 2, but the original release is charcoal gray with kind of a light dark bluish tint, maybe. To me, at least, that's what it looks like, but it's predominantly charcoal gray. But they are, to me, they aren't exact colored the same color, but they're very, very close. The FSL, like I said, version 1 is more got some dirty brownish to him because to me it depicts their fight rolling around on the ground and stuff. Also, the fingernails on the figures, the toe and fingernails, I think are really accurate. In the movie, his finger claws look really like almost bone white or light gray, and the FSL version 1 captures that pretty well, and the FSL version 2 captures it fairly well. They're a bit darker on the version 2 than in version 1, but the original release, they're just really dull gray like his toenails. So I feel like the finger claws and toenails are done better as far as coloring on the FSL, both versions, than on the original release. As far as the poses, I love the pose of the original release and the version 2 walking. They're just more dynamic, in my opinion. I really love the walking pose. It's unique when you look at your shelf and you see this thing beside the others that have both feet on the ground, and then this one's, his right foot is up in walk pose and in the middle of a step. It kind of sticks out, and it's really cool. So I would say the best pose, I mean, in my opinion, it's very close, but the FSL version 2, I love the dynamics of the pose, followed very, very, very closely by the original release 30 centimeter. But the coloring on the dorsal plates of the FSL version 1 is similar to the original 30 centimeter. The daytime shots in the movie, I think the original 30 centimeters coloring on his dorsal plates is the super accurate. And this is pretty close, very close. But I think this is the most accurate, in my opinion, as far as his outer part of the plates. The inner part are all pretty close to being the same as far as the dark grayish, blackish tones and the texturing and everything, the bump texturing on them. They're all very similar in that respect. They're nicely done figures, all 3 of them. I couldn't choose between them. I love them all. They're all 3 very nicely done. I don't account into the gigantic in this line because it's hard to compare the gigantics to these. The gigantics are in a class of their own, in my opinion. But as far as these 3, if you don't have one and you want a 62, I think all 3 of them hold attributes from the film, hold attributes from certain aspects of the film and certain shots in the film of the Haru Nakajima in the suit. And I've said that here, what I think they come from. I would highly recommend any of these 3 62s. They're all nicely done, very, very, very high grade figures from X Plus. And I would not in one least hesitate to buy any of them again if I had the chance. They're all great figures, and I don't ask me to choose between them because I just can't. There's no way. If I have to pick one, I'm just going to grab all three of them. Or if my house is on fire, I'll just claim them on my insurance and buy them again. So, because I'll still have them all three if something like that ever happens. So, but I highly recommend these three 62s. They are very high grade, nicely done. Even the older 30 centimeter original, it is really does hold nice attributes considering its age. All right, I will bring the camera closer and show these guys off in a closer light. And I want to thank everyone for their time and attention. And this is Phil the Kaiju King from my collection room in Greater Cincinnati. Oh, by the way, my upcoming videos will be some Baka days I just had today. Baragon and Orga came in today for me, so I'll be doing some videos in the next coming days of those, some reviews. They both look really good. I sat down and watched Gamera versus Baragon again today to refresh it, and my opinion on that figure, it's a 10. Honestly, it's probably a real contender for figure of the year. It won't win it, but it should be, because they nailed that sculpt in my opinion. But that'll probably be the next video I'll do, the review of the 30 centimeter Baragon. So, with that said, I will bring the camera forth now. I want to thank everyone for watching and viewing my channel and supporting my channel. This is Phil the Kaiju King from my collection room in Greater Cincinnati, and y'all have a very wonderful day.